Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you this cute little easel card. I had a bit of a play around with some of my framelits and realised that I hadn't used Santa's sleigh very much. And obviously I have used my lots of labels recently as I made a box, and I thought, well, I really fancy making an easel card because they are really pretty and they give you a little bit more freedom to play with different designs. And so I came up with this one, which as you can see has some trees in the background and then these little presents on the front. So I'm going to show you how I made it. So to start off with, which is completely contraire for me, I've actually done this one in centimetres. I think I've said before in the past that any cards I make using centimetres. Any 3D projects I use inches. I don't know why I can't stick with one measurement or the other, but for some reason that's the way it happens. So this piece of cardstock is 16 centimetres by 14 centimetres, and you need to score, and my mind's completely gone now, so along the 16, so again I'm only using my trimmer, so with the 16 centimetres across the top, you simply need to score at 8 and 11. That's that, simple as that. And then we actually, depending on which way you want to use it, whether you want to use this bit as the inside or this bit as the inside, it's entirely up to you. But then we just simply fold and burnish, just grab my bone folder, fold over and burnish these score lines, and you have to really make sure you give them a good burnish because obviously we need them to be enough to be able to hold your easel card upright. So give that a good burnish, and obviously that is the basis of it. That is your easel card. You can see that way on, it sort of sits like that. So I'm just going to pop that to one side for a moment. So now I'm coming to my lots of labels, and I want the largest and the next one down, which is these two, and I've got some red and white here. So I'm just going to grab my big shot and run these through. And as always, all of the products that I've used are available to be purchased on the website, and the link for the shop is just below in the description, and all the measurements and products that I've used are on my blog, and that will also be just in the description bar below. So there's the red one and the largest one, and then here is the next size down with the white, which I'm just going to run through. Lots of good cracking going on that one, wasn't there? So there's my white one, so we'll move those out of the way. Move that out of the way. Right, so we've now got our base, our main card base, our real red sort of layering, lots of labels, and our white one. And it's obviously the white one that we need to stamp on. So I used an old favourite, Lovely as a Tree. I do know there's one or two people that aren't so keen on this one, but I really like it. So, and I'm using soft suede, and I'm actually going to stamp off the soft suede. So I'm using this lovely long stretch of trees here, and I need my E-block for this one. So soft suede, and I'm just obviously going to ink it up, stamp it off, and then not quite on the bottom because obviously the presents are going to go there and you don't want it to hide all of those lovely trees. So that's my soft suede bit done. So I'll put that away, move that to one side. And so the next bit we need to do is sticking this on here and then adhering our presents and things. So I just used my snail for the back of this one. So just run a bit of snail on it and pop it on. Just obviously just need to line it up as best you can. And I think that's just about there. So just give that a little press. And then I want to use, again, I'm going to use my fuse just because I feel that it needs to be just that little bit stronger because it's not sitting flat. So again, just putting it on and looking at where it comes, and it's just above that protruding bit there. So just simply pop some some fuse across the bottom there. And then I actually pushed this down to line it up because it's much easier. And I just lined it up with the base and stuck it on. So that's that bit done. So I didn't do it ready, but that doesn't matter because it won't take me a second. So I need the inside layer for my card. So I'm just going to grab some Whisper White, and we are going to need, and this is how rubbish I am, I haven't written the size of this down, so I'll have to have a look. So we need 7.5 by 13.5. So I'm going to go 13.5 there by 7.5. So that's all we need, is just that piece there, which I'm just going to adhere down. Oops. Because again, the stamping on this is very minimal. So I'm just going to pop this on the inside. And then you just need to decorate it, really. So I've already done some of my presents simply because I knew that it would make you extremely sleepy if I did all of these while you were still watching. So as you can see, I've done the red ones, so I've just got these green presents to do, and as I said, these are out of Santa's sleigh. As you can see, there's 3 different present sizes there. Can you see those? Oh yes, 3 different present sizes. And the good thing is, because these are square, I generally don't use my trimmer. I just literally cut down the sides and across the top and the bottom, and before you know it, you've cut them all out. The little rosette part on top, I actually did stamp with this bit, and there is a die within the framelets, Santa's sleigh framelets, that just cuts them out. I did try initially to stamp them on, but they looked rubbish. So I decided to restamp them and die cut them. I also decided not to colour the rosettes in, just because, again, it looked a little bit silly. But I did use the garden green marker and the real red marker just to fill in the sort of stripes in the centre where the ribbon would go round. So I just did that, and as I said, I stamped and cut those out. So I'm just going to pop a glue dot on the back of those, and this is why I didn't do all of this on the tutorial, because it would have taken me far too long and you would have all got extremely bored, and I would have run out of things to talk about as well while I was doing it. So those are my 6 presents there, and then I thought that I needed something a little bit blingy because it was a little bit plain, so I went with a couple of gold foil sheets and literally just cut out of a little bit that I'd got left over a couple of little scraps, and I just tied from the gold 1/8 of an inch ribbon, I just tied a couple of small bows onto here, and then I've just literally stuck them onto the back of my ribbon. Just fold it over slightly because you don't want it overlapping. So just stick the glue dot there, just fold that bit over and stick it to the top of my present. So there are my presents, and I'm simply just going to stick them across the bottom. These ones I did generally just stick quite haphazardly, if that's such a word. So all of the stamped ones I put dimensionals on, these 2 I just adhered with snail. So just 1 dimensional on the squares and oblongs, and then the super thin ones I actually used the mini dimensionals, and I just put a couple on each, which I think these are fabulous. I used to cut the edges off the big ones previously, but I'm so glad now that I haven't the need to do that. So I'm just going to go along, and I'm actually just going to copy how I put those ones on, just because they seem to look quite good. So I'm quite happy with that one. So just take all the backs off, and I hope that you're all getting ready for that time of year that's coming very soon. As you all know, it's nearly Christmas. It can't be far off now. So don't forget that you can get gift vouchers from myself if you'd like a nice little gift that's more personal to someone, and they can actually choose their own present. If anything like my husband, he wouldn't have a clue which stamps I have, which I don't, which ones I want, which ones I don't. So, you know, a gift voucher is always handy. You can just contact me below. Unfortunately, as usual, we do have certain areas that we can only allow people to buy from us, which is France, Germany, Netherlands and Austria, and obviously the UK. So, like I said, if you want to get a gift voucher, just get in touch with me. I'm sure anybody would appreciate it. I certainly know that I would love to get one. So, as you can see, I just added a few little rhinestones to the centre of those presents, just again to add a little bit more sparkle and bling, because after all, it is Christmas. So, just adding the small ones just to the centre of those rosettes. And then I just need to stamp one little present here, because I did fear that when I did it, oops, it looked a little bit bare, and I thought I need something on the bottom here. So I'm going to go with my garden green, and I'm just simply going to add a present. You can obviously add whatever you wish. You don't need to use a present. You could use the holly wreath, you could use the teddy bear or the stocking, or even just the bows. And then there's a very small little bow here, which is the one that I've used on these two presents here, and I've literally just stamped and then kind of eyeballed it as to where I want it to go. And then last but not least, I need to do my sentiment. Nearly forgot that bit. That would not have been so amusing, would it? So I want my Merry Christmas wishes, and then I want my other sentiment, which I shall pop on there. Okay, so I've got some Whisper White here that was used for my lots of labels. So I'm actually going to save myself some time and go right up into that corner. And then I only have two edges to cut. So let's just put that away. And then likewise with this one, I'm going to stamp it down here, and again use the edges to help me with my cutting, because like I said, I don't need to cut too much. So that's those bits done, and now I just need to cut them out. So I'm just going to bring my good old trimmer back in. So I just need to cut this one out, which, as you can see, is very easy to do because I've already done two of my edges, so I'm not fiddling around with small bits and trying to cut them. And then again with this one, it's very simple, and I just give that a trim as well. And there are my two sentiments. Now you're probably going to laugh at this, but I have some gold foil sheets that are left over from projects that I've done. As you can see, this was a spare one, so I'm simply going to make sure that I've got a straight edge, which is that a straight edge there? Not convinced. I'm going to stick this one, in fact no I'm not, I'm going to give this one a trim. So I'm going to line, let's have a look, that looks relatively straight. So I'm going to line this bottom bit up that I believe is straight and give it a trim. Right, so I know that those two edges now are straight, so let's stick this one on. Just stick that one on, and this one I'm just going to have to stick on here and then cut it out separately because of it being so long and thin. So I'm just going to make sure I've got enough. There we go. And then I'm just going to get my big scissors. As I've said to you before, I suppose I find this slightly easier than trying to do it with my trimmer, but then it doesn't always cut straight. But I don't think that... Let me just redo that bit. That's not very straight. That's better. And the same with this one. Simply just chop at the ends. And then I just need to do a straight line. And you can obviously go off the top of the white to do this one. So you just make sure that you've got an even space as you go, and just keep those scissors straight. And as long as you keep your scissors straight, you'll just cut a simple straight line. And then I just need to bring back in my sentiments. So I need a couple of the large ones on here, and I'm going to put some little ones on this one. 1, 2, 3. And then this one is going to go at the top. I'm just going to pop this one at the top here. Again, just make sure that you've got an even space. Oh, goodness, just knocked that with my finger. Make sure you've got an even space either side here. And then when you come to stick this one on, take your backing off and then put your card where you want the easel to sit. And then once you've got it marked up, just place it on initially, and then once you're happy that it's straight, you can, I think mine needs some further reinforcing with the bone folder here because it's a bit springy. There we go, that's better. And there you have them, 2 easel cards using Santa's sleigh, and I think they're really cute, and I'm sure that anybody would love to have those sat on their mantelpieces or windowsills at Christmas to show off to friends and family. Hope you like my projects, and don't forget all the information will be on my blog, and all the links for everything are just below. Hope you have a great day, guys. See you again soon. Bye.